Once a Soho House basic, always a Soho House basic bitch.
Meghan has always had this very, very strange fascination with Soho House, very much this weird obsession with it.
Do you see any of the real Diana in Meghan? Did you?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
Piers Morgan just dropped a bombshell that's breaking the internet right now. He allegedly aired photos Meghan Markle fought for years to keep hidden. Exclusive Soho House parties, wealthy men, a lifestyle that doesn't match her story. Within seconds, millions watched as her carefully built image started to shatter. But here's the twist nobody expected. What did those photos actually show? Why isn't she fighting back? And most importantly, what else has she been hiding?
We are uncensored, but oh my God, the idea there's any comparison between Diana, who was the biggest star in the world.
And here we have Andrew, with whom looks like Marcus Anderson. This is in 2001, when Meghan Markle would have allegedly been on third year. Meghan Markle hardly spent any time at Northwestern University. According to people, she got started her yachting days, and she never stopped really. I don't think any of her boyfriends knew about it, but Meghan Markle was known as a hardcore yacht partying person, ready for anything.
The reaction from major media outlets was swift and polarized. Variety magazine, often considered Hollywood's most authoritative voice, described certain coverage of Meghan as having been less than kind, unimaginative, and frustrating. The Guardian, known for its progressive stance, reportedly called related content sickening. Even the traditionally measured New York Times took a sharp tone, with one piece sneering about the intimacy of Instagram in relation to Meghan's public image management. Various commentators weighed in with equally harsh assessments, with terms like nauseating, self-serving, and snoozefest being thrown around freely in the media landscape. What makes this particular incident stand out is the claim that Morgan wasn't simply offering his usual commentary or opinion pieces that have become his trademark over the years. This time, according to those who watched the segment, he came prepared with what he presented as visual evidence. Photographs that allegedly contradict significant portions of the story Meghan has told about her life before meeting Prince Harry. Images that sources suggest were meant to remain buried in the depths of internet history, scrubbed from search results, protected behind legal threats, and carefully managed public relations strategies. The immediate aftermath was striking. Within minutes of the segment allegedly airing, social media platforms erupted with reactions. Twitter threads multiplied rapidly. YouTube commentary channels began analyzing what viewers claimed they had seen. Forums dedicated to royal watching filled with speculation and debate. The speed and intensity of the response indicated that something genuinely provocative had been presented. Something that touched a nerve in the ongoing conversation about Meghan's authenticity and the carefully curated image she has maintained since entering the public eye. At the center of the controversy sits one fundamental question that has echoed across countless online discussions and comment sections. What exactly was Meghan doing at those Soho House parties? And perhaps more importantly, why has there been what many perceive as a concerted effort to ensure those chapters of her life remain forgotten by the general public? To understand the significance of these alleged photographs, we need to step back to 2015 and 2016, a period that proves crucial in understanding both Meghan's trajectory and Piers Morgan's apparent obsession with exposing what he views as her calculated rise to prominence. The story of their personal interaction has been told before, but it takes on new meaning when viewed through the lens of what allegedly unfolded on Morgan's show recently. In 2016, before Meghan's relationship with Prince Harry became public knowledge, she and Piers Morgan met for drinks. By Morgan's account, this was a friendly meeting between two people in the media industry. They sat in a pub in Kensington, talked for over an hour about their careers, their views on various topics, and seemingly built what Morgan believed was the beginning of a genuine friendship. The conversation was pleasant enough that Morgan apparently felt they had connected on a meaningful level. What happened next has become a defining grievance in Morgan's relationship with Meghan. The very next evening after their pub meeting, Meghan went to Soho House for dinner. That dinner companion was Prince Harry. From that moment forward, according to Morgan, Meghan never contacted him again. Not a single text message. Not one phone call. Complete and total radio silence. For someone who thought they had just established a friendly connection, this abrupt ghosting wasn't merely impolite. To Morgan, it represented something more calculated, a clear indication that once Meghan had secured access to someone more valuable to her ambitions, previous connections became immediately disposable. To casual observers, this might seem like simple social climbing, the kind of thing that happens regularly in entertainment and media circles where people constantly reassess their networks based on who can offer the most value. But to Piers Morgan personally, this wasn't just about being dropped for better opportunities. It became a personal betrayal that appears to have fueled years of criticism, investigation, and what many see as an obsessive quest to expose what he views as Meghan's true character. The significance of this alleged photo incident cannot be separated from this personal history. This isn't random media criticism. According to those analysing the situation, this represents years of accumulated anger finally armed with what Morgan believes is concrete visual proof of the points he has been trying to make since 2016. The stakes for Morgan in this ongoing saga are not insignificant. His career at ITV and his position on Good Morning Britain came to an abrupt end, specifically because of statements he made about Meghan. After her interview with Oprah Winfrey aired, Morgan stated on air that he didn't believe her claims, particularly regarding her mental health struggles and allegations of racism within the royal family. His comments generated an unprecedented 58,000 complaints to the UK broadcasting regulator. Meghan herself filed a complaint against him with ITV. The situation escalated to the point where Morgan walked off his own show during a live broadcast after a heated exchange with a colleague who challenged his stance. His departure from Good Morning Britain marked a dramatic turning point in his career. For someone who had been a fixture of British morning television, losing that platform represented a significant professional consequence. And from Morgan's perspective, all of this happened because of Meghan Markle. She had, in his view, cost him his job through her complaint and the controversy that followed his comments about her Oprah interview. Given this context, the alleged display of photographs on his current show takes on a different dimension entirely. If the reports from viewers and sources are accurate, this wasn't simply a segment about royal news or celebrity gossip. This was allegedly a moment Piers Morgan had been building toward for years, gathering whatever photographic evidence he could locate, constructing a case designed to fundamentally undermine the woman he holds responsible for derailing his television career in Britain. The psychological motivation becomes clearer when you consider the trajectory, a friendly meeting that ended in being ghosted, years of watching Meghan's rise to global prominence through her marriage to Harry, Morgan's increasingly vocal criticism of her, the Oprah interview fallout that cost him his job, and now, allegedly, the presentation of photographs that he believes prove his criticisms were justified all along. The public image that Meghan Markle has carefully constructed over the years presents a straightforward narrative. Before meeting Prince Harry, she was a working actress on a cable television drama called Suits, living what appeared to be a relatively modest life in Toronto where the show was filmed. Her public persona emphasized her humanitarian interests, her lifestyle blog called The Tig, and her work as an advocate for various causes. This version of Meghan's pre-royal life has been repeated in countless interviews, documentaries, and media profiles. It's the foundation of the fairy tale story that captivated millions around the world. However, according to sources and observers who have been tracking her history more closely, there exists a parallel version of Meghan's life during those years that rarely appears in official narratives or Netflix documentaries. This alternative account suggests that Meghan was deeply embedded in Soho House culture for an extended period, not as an occasional visitor or casual guest, but as someone who allegedly treated these exclusive private clubs as her personal base of operations across multiple cities. Soho House is not your typical members club. The organisation operates ultra-exclusive properties in major cities around the world, including London, Toronto, New York, Los Angeles, and numerous other locations. The membership standards are notoriously strict, with the club's founder Nick Jones reportedly stating that they try not to give membership to people who would fuel paparazzi attention or bring unwanted press coverage. The exclusivity is so extreme that even major celebrities have been denied membership. Kim Kardashian, one of the most famous people on the planet, was reportedly turned away. Kobe Bryant, an international sports icon, similarly couldn't gain access. The club prides itself on being a haven for creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and influential figures who want privacy and discretion. Given these stringent membership criteria and the club's reputation for turning away even the most famous applicants, the question of how Meghan Markle obtained such extensive access becomes immediately relevant. She was not a major celebrity during her Suits years. The show had a dedicated following, but it was a cable drama on USA Network, not a massive mainstream hit that would have made its cast members household names. By any objective measure, Meghan's level of fame during that period would not have automatically granted her the kind of access that even A-list celebrities were being denied. Yet according to various accounts and sources, Meghan had access to Soho House properties in multiple cities. She allegedly stayed at locations in London, Toronto, and New York, properties where even securing a reservation for dinner can be challenging for non-members, let alone extended stays at facilities that cost thousands of pounds or dollars per night. This level of access suggests something beyond simple membership. It indicates either significant personal wealth that hasn't been publicly accounted for, or alternatively, special arrangements facilitated by someone with considerable power within the organization. The photographs that Piers Morgan allegedly displayed reportedly showed Meghan at various Soho House events over the years. According to those who claim to have seen the segment, these weren't casual snapshots of someone attending a single party. The images allegedly depicted Meghan as a regular presence at exclusive gatherings, surrounded by wealthy men, positioned strategically at events where billionaires, investors, and power brokers congregated. This pattern of attendance and the nature of these gatherings don't align with the typical behavior of a working actress focused on building her career through auditions and networking within the entertainment industry. The contrast becomes even more stark when you consider the narrative Meghan has built around her humanitarian work and her blog during those years. The TIG was presented as a passion project where she shared lifestyle content, travel experiences, and thoughts on various topics. Her advocacy work was highlighted as a central part of her identity. These activities paint a picture of someone whose priorities centered on meaningful work and creative expression. But regular attendance at elite Soho House parties, yacht events, and luxury gatherings suggests a very different allocation of time and energy, one focused on positioning herself within circles of extreme wealth and influence. Adding another layer to these questions are the persistent rumors about yacht parties. For years, various claims have circulated online suggesting that photographs exist showing Meghan on luxury yachts with wealthy men, allegedly at events connected to or facilitated through Soho House networks. Some commentators have suggested these were innocent vacation photos, simply capturing someone enjoying leisure time with friends. Others have made far more serious allegations, claiming the images show Meghan in situations that fundamentally contradict the carefully managed image she presents publicly. One documentary titled The Dark World of Celebrity Yachting referenced Meghan in the context of actresses who allegedly accompany wealthy men on yachts for networking purposes and financial opportunities. Author Kirby Summers wrote extensively about alleged connections between Meghan, billionaire Ron Burkle, who has served on the Soho House board of directors since 2012, and other powerful men within those exclusive circles. According to Summers' research and claims, there existed a world where ambitious young women were positioned at events and on yachts with extremely wealthy older men, with arrangements that involved significant financial benefits and access to elite networks. It's important to note that the yacht photo situation is complicated by significant misinformation and misidentification. Fact-checkers have definitively proven that some photographs circulated online claiming to show Meghan actually depicted completely different women, including a model named Alexandra Escat. There has clearly been confusion, conspiracy theorizing, and in some cases, deliberate misrepresentation mixing with whatever genuine photographs might actually exist. Not every claim about yacht photos should be taken at face value, and responsible analysis requires acknowledging where misinformation has been spread. However, the reason these rumors have persisted for years despite fact-checking efforts is that certain documented facts create a pattern that makes people continue asking questions. Meghan's confirmed connection to Soho House as an organization, her unexplained level of access to exclusive properties across multiple cities, her close relationship with Marcus Anderson, who holds significant power within that network and has connections to billionaire investors, her documented attendance at various elite events, all of these verified facts combine to create what observers describe as a circumstantial framework that keeps the questions alive. When someone's documented access to exclusive venues seems disproportionate to their public income and fame level, when their social network includes people with extraordinary wealth despite having no obvious avenue for building those connections, when luxury travel and designer wardrobes appear regularly despite modest earnings from a cable television show, people naturally wonder about the mechanisms that made that lifestyle possible. These aren't baseless conspiracy theories when they're grounded in observable contradictions between someone's known income and their evident lifestyle. The alleged photos that Piers Morgan displayed, according to sources and viewer accounts, weren't presented as evidence of anything illegal or explicitly scandalous. Rather, they reportedly showed a version of Meghan's pre-royal life that simply doesn't match the story she has told. Images of someone embedded in elite circles, comfortable and familiar in environments of extreme wealth, positioned strategically at exclusive events, these details paint a picture of calculated social climbing rather than the organic fairy tale romance that captured global attention. If the alleged photographs raised questions about Meghan's presence at exclusive events, understanding the Soho House network itself makes those questions considerably more pointed. Because access to this world doesn't happen by accident, and it certainly doesn't happen without someone powerful facilitating that access. This is where Marcus Anderson enters the picture, and his role in Meghan's story cannot be overstated. Marcus Anderson isn't just a friend who happened to work at Soho House. He served as the global membership director, which means he literally held the power to decide who gained entry to these exclusive clubs and who remained permanently locked out. In an organization where Kim Kardashian and Kobe Bryant were denied membership, the person controlling access wields enormous influence. Anderson's position gave him the ability to open doors that remain closed to almost everyone else, including some of the most famous people on the planet. When examining Meghan's connection to Anderson, the timeline becomes particularly interesting. When Meghan needed access to elite circles in various cities, Anderson allegedly provided it. When she relocated from one city to another, a pattern emerged that observers find difficult to explain through ordinary friendship. Anderson reportedly moved from Los Angeles to New York, then to Toronto where Meghan was filming Suits, then to London around the time Meghan's relationship with Harry was developing, and eventually to California after Meghan and Harry settled there. This kind of geographic coordination almost never happens in normal friendships, particularly when one person holds a senior corporate position that would typically require them to remain based in a central location. For Anderson to have relocated multiple times, seemingly tracking Meghan's movements across continents, suggests his role extended well beyond casual friendship. Corporate executives with significant responsibilities don't typically uproot their lives repeatedly to remain near a friend, especially a friend who was at that time a relatively unknown television actress. The nature of their relationship has been described differently at various points. Early on, when questions first arose about Anderson, Meghan characterized him as simply someone she knew through work, a professional acquaintance, rather than a close personal friend. However, as more information emerged, that description became increasingly difficult to maintain. Photographs surfaced showing them together constantly at various events and locations. Anderson attended Meghan's wedding to Prince Harry, hardly the behavior of a mere professional acquaintance. Multiple sources confirmed that Anderson played a crucial role in introducing Meghan to Harry, arranging for them to meet at Soho House in London. The evolving explanations create a pattern. What was initially described as a casual work connection transformed into acknowledgement of a close confidant who facilitated one of the most significant introductions in recent royal history. This shift in narrative raises obvious questions about why the relationship was initially downplayed and what other aspects of their connection might remain undisclosed. Some observers have noted that Anderson appears to be one of the few people from Meghan's past who hasn't been discarded or distanced as her life changed. While numerous former friends, colleagues, and even most of her family have been cut off or pushed away, Anderson has remained consistently present. One commentator described him as indispensable in contrast to the disposable friend pattern that has characterized Meghan's other relationships. Without Anderson's facilitation and access, according to this analysis, Meghan might never have achieved the level of global prominence she currently holds. There have also been claims online suggesting connections between Anderson and Omid Scobie, the author who wrote sympathetic books about Meghan and Harry. Some sources have alleged that Scobie and Anderson knew each other through the same social circles, with suggestions they may have been romantically involved at one point. These claims suggest that the network around Meghan includes not just social facilitators like Anderson, but also media allies positioned to shape public narratives favorably. Whether these specific romantic claims are accurate remains unclear, but what is documented is that Scobie has served as a reliably sympathetic voice for Meghan in print, often presenting her perspective even when other journalists have been more critical. The question of how Meghan funded her lifestyle during her pre-royal years adds another dimension to these network questions. She presented herself publicly as a working actress, living modestly, building her career through talent and determination. However, observers noted she had access to private jets for various trips, luxury vacations in exclusive destinations, memberships, or access to high-end clubs, and a wardrobe filled with designer clothing that would cost more than a typical suit salary could reasonably support. When questions arose about how she afforded this lifestyle, explanations were notably vague. There were references to her blog generating some income, mentions of her acting salary, suggestions that she was simply good at managing money and finding deals. But none of these explanations adequately account for the level of luxury travel, designer wardrobes, and exclusive access she demonstrably enjoyed. The math simply doesn't add up when you compare a cable television actress's typical earnings against the documented evidence of her lifestyle during those years. This brings the analysis back to the core question. If Meghan's access to Soho House properties wasn't based on her celebrity status since she lacked sufficient fame, and if it wasn't based on her personal wealth since her documented income doesn't explain her lifestyle, then how did she gain and maintain such extensive access to these exclusive venues? Someone had to facilitate it, someone had to pay for it, and someone benefited from the arrangements. Some sources and observers have suggested a considerably darker interpretation of these connections. According to these claims, Meghan wasn't simply a guest enjoying Soho House hospitality. Instead, they allege she was part of a network where young, attractive women were strategically positioned at exclusive events to network with wealthy older men. The yacht parties, the luxury vacations, the access to billionaire circles, all of these allegedly came with expectations and arrangements that Meghan has never publicly acknowledged or addressed. These are serious allegations that venture into territory that's difficult to verify definitively. However, the reason such claims gain traction is that certain documented facts are difficult to explain otherwise. Higher-level access to exclusive venues doesn't come free. Someone pays the costs, someone provides the introductions, someone manages the logistics. And in environments where extremely wealthy men gather, the presence of attractive younger women is rarely coincidental or without underlying arrangements. The silence from Meghan's side regarding these questions has been notable. For someone known to aggressively manage her public image through legal channels, the absence of strong denials or legal action against these specific allegations stands out. When newspapers published a private letter to her father, she sued. When Piers Morgan made comments about her Oprah interview, she filed complaints. When various media outlets have published unflattering coverage, her legal team has responded swiftly and decisively. Yet when it comes to questions about the Soho House network, the yacht rumours, and the mechanisms behind her pre-royal lifestyle, the response has been different. Instead of direct denials or legal threats, there has largely been silence punctuated by occasional vague statements about privacy. This pattern of selective legal aggression raises its own questions. If someone regularly uses legal channels to combat negative coverage, why would they suddenly go quiet when faced with allegations about their past, unless responding would create more problems than it would solve? The legal silence becomes even more significant in the context of the alleged photographs Piers Morgan displayed. If those images were fabricated or misrepresented, if they showed something other than what Morgan claimed, standard practice would involve an immediate legal response. Lawyers would demand retractions, issue cease and desist letters, threaten defamation suits, and work to have the content removed from circulation. The fact that allegedly none of this has happened, according to sources tracking the situation, suggests the photographs may be genuine and legally defensible, leaving Meghan with no good option except remaining quiet and hoping public attention moves elsewhere. The pattern of shifting explanations about Meghan's past becomes more significant when examined collectively. These aren't minor inconsistencies in recounting events from years ago. They represent fundamental changes in how key relationships and circumstances have been described over time, suggesting either a remarkably poor memory or a deliberate strategy of adjusting narratives based on what information has already become public. Take the Soho House connection as a primary example. In early interviews and public statements, Meghan described Soho House casually, as simply a place she would visit when in London. Nothing particularly special, just a convenient location that she knew about. This characterization painted the picture of someone with modest familiarity, perhaps having been there a few times with friends or colleagues. However, when Prince Harry's memoir Spare was published, a very different picture emerged from his own words. Harry revealed that Meghan called Soho House her headquarters, that she kept luggage stored there, and that she specifically suggested it as the location for their first date because of her extensive familiarity with the venue and its layout. These are two dramatically different descriptions of the same relationship with the same location. Calling a place your headquarters implies regular presence, established routines, and a level of comfort that goes far beyond occasional visits. Keeping luggage stored at a location suggests ongoing access and arrangements that typical guests simply don't have. Choosing it as the site for a crucial first date because you know it so well indicates intimate knowledge of the space, the staff, and the atmosphere. This isn't the casual acquaintance with a venue that was initially described. This represents something much deeper and more established. The Marcus-Anderson friendship has undergone similar narrative evolution. When questions first emerged about Anderson's role in Meghan's life, she downplayed the connection significantly. He was described as someone she knew through work, a professional connection within the hospitality industry, nothing particularly close or significant. This framing suggested a distant relationship, perhaps occasional interactions at events or through mutual acquaintances, but nothing that would warrant particular attention or scrutiny. As more evidence emerged, this characterization became impossible to maintain. Photographs showed them together constantly at various locations and events across multiple years. Anderson attended her wedding to Prince Harry, a privilege extended only to genuinely close friends and family members. Multiple sources confirmed that Anderson had been instrumental in introducing Meghan to Harry, facilitating the meeting that would change her life entirely. These facts revealed a relationship far closer than a mere professional acquaintance, yet the initial public description had suggested exactly that limited connection. The question of wealth and lifestyle has generated perhaps the most vague and shifting explanations. Meghan presented herself publicly as a working actress living within her means, perhaps comfortably, but not extravagantly. However, documented evidence showed access to private jets for international travel, luxury vacations at exclusive resorts, regular presence at high-end events in designer clothing, and stays at expensive properties. When journalists and observers began asking how a cable television actress afforded this lifestyle, the answers provided were notably unclear. There were mentions of her suit's salary, though specific figures were never disclosed. References to income from her blog The Tig appeared in some explanations, though lifestyle blogs rarely generate significant revenue unless they achieve massive scale. Suggestions that she was simply skilled at finding deals and managing her finances came up occasionally. Some vague allusions to savings from her previous work were offered. But none of these explanations, individually or collectively, adequately account for the documented evidence of luxury travel, designer wardrobes, and access to exclusive venues that cost thousands per visit. When you examine someone's known income sources against their evident lifestyle, basic mathematics should provide clarity. A supporting actress on a cable drama earns a certain range of salary. A lifestyle blog generates a certain range of revenue. These figures are relatively predictable and leave little room for massive hidden income. Yet the lifestyle Meghan demonstrably enjoyed during those years suggests access to significantly more resources than those income sources would provide. The gap between documented income and evident expenditure creates questions that shifting, vague explanations have never adequately answered. If Meghan's story had simply been unusual or unconventional, public interest might have remained limited to tabloid gossip and speculation. However, once observers began examining the Soho House network itself and how it operates, the entire narrative took on different implications. Because understanding the organization's structure and purpose makes certain aspects of Meghan's access considerably more difficult to explain through innocent coincidence. Soho House membership requires substantial wealth, significant social connections, status within creative or business industries, or critically, someone powerful within the organization vouching for you and facilitating your access. The clubs are designed for wealthy professionals, successful entrepreneurs, influential creatives, and people who already move in elite circles. They're explicitly not designed for aspiring actors trying to break into the industry or cable television supporting cast members building their careers. The question then becomes unavoidable. How does someone at Meghan's level of fame and documented wealth during those years gain regular access to properties where even internationally famous celebrities are routinely denied? The standard pathways to Soho House membership don't apply to her circumstances during that period. She wasn't wealthy enough by the organization's standards. She wasn't famous enough to warrant special treatment. She wasn't established enough in elite social circles to have the necessary connections. Yet she had extensive access across multiple cities, kept belongings stored at locations, and treated these venues as her headquarters. This leaves only one remaining explanation that fits the available evidence. Someone with considerable power within the organization actively facilitated her access and maintained it across years and multiple locations. That person was Marcus Anderson, whose position as Global Membership Director gave him exactly this capability. But this raises the follow-up question that cuts to the heart of the matter. Why would someone in Anderson's position invest this level of personal and professional resources into facilitating access for a relatively unknown actress? What was the nature of the arrangement? What were the expectations? And what benefits accrued to the various parties involved? Some sources have suggested interpretations that venture into uncomfortable territory. According to these claims, Meghan wasn't simply a fortunate recipient of generous hospitality from a friend. Instead, they allege she was part of a structured network where attractive young women were strategically positioned at exclusive events to interact with wealthy older men. The yacht parties that have been rumoured for years, the luxury vacations at exclusive destinations, the access to circles of billionaires and major investors, all of these allegedly operated within a framework of expectations and arrangements that extended well beyond simple friendship or networking. These allegations describe a world where access and luxury come with implicit or explicit understandings about the nature of relationships and interactions. Where young women provide companionship, appeal, and attention to extremely wealthy men in exchange for access to their world, their resources, and their networks. Where the arrangements might not be explicitly transactional in crude terms, but where everyone involved understands the dynamics and expectations, even if they're never spoken directly. Such claims are difficult to prove definitively without insider testimony or explicit documentation that participants would have strong incentives to keep private. However, the reason these allegations persist and continue to be discussed is that certain patterns are difficult to explain otherwise. High-level access to exclusive venues requires someone paying substantial costs. Presence at elite events surrounded by billionaires requires facilitation and introduction. Luxury travel and designer lifestyles require funding sources. And in environments where extremely wealthy older men gather, the consistent presence of attractive younger women rarely occurs through random chance. The alleged photographs that Piers Morgan displayed become significant in this context because visual evidence can demonstrate patterns that are easy to deny when described only in words. If the images showed Meghan regularly positioned at elite Soho House events over an extended period, if they depicted her in the company of wealthy older men at yacht parties and exclusive gatherings, if they illustrated a lifestyle and social position that contradicts her public narrative about those years, then photographic documentation becomes considerably harder to dismiss than rumors or speculation. What makes the current situation particularly notable is the legal silence that has allegedly followed Morgan's segment. Meghan has demonstrated repeatedly that she uses legal channels aggressively to control her narrative and combat coverage she views as unfair or inaccurate. She sued British newspapers over publication of a private letter, a case she ultimately won. She filed formal complaints about Piers Morgan's comments regarding her Oprah interview, contributing to his departure from Good Morning Britain. Her legal team has sent cease and desist letters to various media outlets and threatened defamation suits against critical coverage. This established pattern makes the current silence striking. If photographs were shown that misrepresented her past, if images were manipulated or presented out of context, if Morgan's characterizations were false or defamatory, standard practice based on her previous behavior would involve immediate legal response. Lawyers would be demanding retractions, issuing threats, working to have content removed, and preparing potential lawsuits. The machinery of legal image protection that has been deployed numerous times before would activate swiftly and decisively. Yet according to sources tracking the situation and monitoring official channels, no such response has allegedly materialized. No denial has been issued. No legal threats have been reported. No statements calling the photographs fake or misleading have appeared. Just silence, which in the context of someone known for aggressive image management, speaks volumes. When someone who regularly uses legal tools suddenly chooses not to deploy them in response to potentially damaging allegations, it suggests those allegations may be grounded in truth that legal action would only amplify rather than suppress. The silence invites inevitable speculation about why fighting back might create more problems than it would solve. Perhaps because legal proceedings would enable discovery processes where Morgan's team could demand documentation about her activities during those years. Perhaps because depositions under oath would require answering questions about income sources, travel funding, and relationship arrangements that are better left unexamined. Perhaps because drawing more attention to the photographs through legal action would only ensure they receive wider distribution and closer analysis than if the story is allowed to fade naturally from the news cycle. As all these pieces accumulate, the documented evidence of extensive Soho House access, the Marcus Anderson relationship that evolved from casual acquaintance to close confidant in public descriptions, the yacht rumors that persist despite fact-checking some misidentified photos, the billionaire connections never adequately explained, the lifestyle that exceeded documented income sources, the internet history that appears to have been systematically scrubbed, the legal threats deployed against other criticism but notably absent here. The narrative shifts about her past and now allegedly visual evidence that contradicts her official story. A pattern emerges that becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss. This isn't about gossip or speculation disconnected from evidence. This is about documented contradictions between the story that has been told and the facts that can be verified. Between the image carefully curated through years of public relations management and the reality suggested by timelines, financial analysis, and photographic documentation. Between the fairy tale narrative of an independent woman who happened to meet a prince and built a life through talent and determination, and a more complex story of calculated positioning within elite networks through facilitated access and strategic relationships.